Hey guys, I'm back. I got the camera turned around right. Sorry about that. It was so easy with no one watching. I could just flip it back and forth, but for whatever reason I couldn't flip it once I got it on. So I got it set right now, and we'll give everybody just a few minutes to get back on. Appreciate you guys being patient with me. It worked good before that. Anyway, I got out here today and we fed, and I had a sheep that was limping around, so I roped a sheep. It was up in the stall, she was, and I got a rope on her and doctored her feet. Sometimes they get scald in between their toes and their feet, so we learned a lot about sheep after having so many for quite some time. We had triplets born the other day, and I was out there earlier looking through our ewes, and we got another one that's going to be due like any day. She's really bagged up, so it won't be long y'all will be seeing some more baby sheep videos. But I just wanted to give you an update on Sally. I'm going to pan on her quickly and we'll come back to her in a little bit. But if you look at Sally there, you can see a lot has changed in her life. She's looking at us. She likes the camera. But man, when she first came here almost 3 weeks ago, I guess, she didn't know a whole lot, but she was really quiet and willing to learn. So we just been working with her. I told Mr. Jimmy it'd be a good thing to do, just because in the evenings I got a few minutes and kind of make it into a sermon. So I'm going to go over here and look at a place that if Sally could talk in English terms, she would say, I don't really like this pen over here. All right, I'm going to take you in here, and what this is a round pen. We built this pen last year. We had an old wooden one, tore it down, and for a while I used to sell these panels. They're big heavy duty panels that we would sell them and go set up working pens for cattle for people for a while. This is about a 60-foot round pen. As you can see, there's the gate I just came in at, and it's basically what it's called, a round pen. And a lot of times on Sundays, at 9 o'clock, for a long time we've always had Sunday school, and the name of Sunday school is the round pen. And this round pen represents some discipline. It represents some work. If Sally could talk, she'd probably say, man, I don't know about that round pen. That thing's a lot of work. When I first put her in here, man, we worked her in this round pen. She'd get sweaty and hot and tired, and she was really smart, but at first she didn't want me to catch her, and it was kind of funny. She would rather run in circles around this 60-foot round pen, and usually what I would do is when I'd get ready for her to give her a chance to face me, I'd turn and walk away from her, and usually they'll turn and face you, and that way we hook up and I can put the halter on her or whatever I needed to do. But so she had to do a lot of work in this round pen. I'm going to get out in the middle of this round pen. It's probably hard to tell, but it's 60 foot, so there's 30 foot on each side of me. I'm pretty much close to the middle now, and I kind of stand right here, and I got a buggy whip here, and I just take that little buggy whip and just do like that on the ground and smooch at her, and she'll take off going. So I got my old buggy whip laid out here, but she would run around this pen. I'm gonna make one more circle. It's a 60-foot round pen, so 30 foot on each side of me standing in the middle. She would go around that round pen many trips, and slowly but surely she started realizing, man, this is for the birds. I'm out here doing my own thing, being hard-headed, running the edge of this pen, working myself after death, and I'm getting nowhere, just running in a circle. And it wasn't long she started figuring out when she would maybe stop, for instance, over here by the gate, and she would come to me. I'd snap her halter on, and life would get a lot easier for Sally. And that's really true for our lives, because I've preached on this many times, but we all tend to want to do our own thing our own way, and we want to run around this big round pen and wear ourselves out trying to do it our own way. And we all, if we're honest, have that testimony, because we probably all done that at some point in our lives. You know, the Lord was just tugging on us out there in the middle of the round pen, and we're like, we're going to do our own thing. And as most all of us have already found out, our own thing isn't near as good as God's way. So this is a round pen she got started in. She'll be thankful for it one day because it kind of built a foundation in her. Now, this is a post that we tie to. This is basically a Clinton Anderson tie ring, and you can run that rope in through here and come back around, and where if she ever sets back, she don't hurt herself. That rope will slide through and give her some slack. But the good news is Sally has never set back as long as I've piddled with her. I just took her over there a while ago to saddle her and tied her up to a stock, and I'd done this once before, but I tied her up to a stock at the barn, and I washed her legs off with a water hose, and that was her second time. And believe it or not, she did really good. She didn't know about the water at first. I'll show y'all the stock over here at the front of the barn, and then we'll go back and talk about Sally. I like to do these little devotions every day, but think about that round pen deal. We've all made a bunch of laps in the round pen, bucking or snorting and running, and the Lord's out in the middle of the round pen saying, sooner you submit to me and come on over here, and your life's going to be easier. So anyway, just like Sally, she got all that figured out, so we moved up over here to the stock. We didn't put her in the stock. I just tied her up over here on the stock and took a water hose. You can see there's still water on the ground. Washed her legs off, and she did real good. She didn't set back or anything. And so I went ahead, and the first time or two I saddled Sally, y'all have to pick on Miss Allison about this. I saddled her in her saddle in case she, messed up the saddle. I didn't want mine messed up. Ha ha. That's just a joke. But I really did use her saddle the other day. I said, look, I got her going. She said, oh yeah, you do, in my saddle. She was laughing about it. But I went ahead and put my old saddle on her today, and man, she's doing good. As you can tell, like we washed her legs off. She's already got them dirty from the round pen in the sand. But she's doing so good. She's going to give you a facial shot there. She's got some gnats after. But got her saddle. I mean, everything. Back girt, she takes that saddle. At this point, she takes it like a champ. And she's really looking good. Got some muscle in her hips. She's been burning some calories since she came over here. I'm pretty sure Miss Sally is gonna make a debut at church. We're gonna have our last full drive-in service this coming Sunday, May 3rd. We'll all be outside at 10:30. After that, we'll go to a service outside at 9 a.m. for the drive-in, and then we'll have service inside the church at 10:30. So this last Sunday, May 3rd, that we're all going to be out in the parking lot, I'm going to bring Sally with me and bring her back to Mr. Jimmy. I was going to pick on Jimmy. I think he's watching here. I got a nice 16-foot stock trailer over here for sale. LOL. Just joking. That's his trailer. But I'm going to probably bring her back this Sunday and use her a little bit in our sermon, some form or fashion. But it's pretty cool to see her progress. She didn't know how to load in a trailer really or anything, but now in just a couple of 3 weeks, and I haven't just put in tremendous time with her. I worked with her a little bit in the evenings, but man, she stands tied. She don't set back. That post that I showed you earlier, and just see that's a big old red oak limb, and we got a tie rope on it, and you can see we've had to haul sand in because through time we've had colts out here and they'll dig a hole in the ground, and we built it up just last year. But Sally is she's on a thinking tree, we call it. That's a patience limb right there, or that tie over in the round pen that we just showed you right over by this big oak tree. That's a patience post, and this is a patience tree limb. She's learning patience. We're going to go down to the pond and go fishing a little bit. I got a big day lined up tomorrow out around Apple Springs area, but we're going to go fishing, and I'm going to let Sally kind of walk around here and carry this saddle. Man, I took that's a big old roping saddle. It's heavy and loud and squeaks. And Allison's little barrel saddle is the reason I threw it on her the first few times. It's a lot lighter for me, so I just pitched it up there. But man, I put this big roping saddle on her. It's heavy, it's loud. She never bobbled. Had her over there at the stock tied up. Put a pad on her and threw that saddle on her and put all that stuff, even girded her up. She never even bobbled. She just took it like a champ. And, you know, I think about our lives as we walk with the Lord. Oh, get her to move around there. As we walk with the Lord, isn't she pretty? When she first come here, she didn't know much. But, man, she has grown in so many ways. She's easy to catch now. You can saddle her. You can wash your legs off with a water hose. A lot of things. She's seen a lot of stuff in a short amount of time and handled it just, I mean, well, like a boss, so to speak. She's done real well. And so my challenge to you and myself is this: we're actually soldiers of the Lord. And so the Lord's always going to be challenging us. He's going to show us something new that we had never seen. He's going to ask us to step it up a little bit. See, look at her. She's got that rope around her ear. She's got to figure out. Good thing is, it's not even really, she's not panicking. She's just thinking this thing out. She'll have to learn how to get turned around there. But God takes us along just like Sally. And Sally's progressed pretty fast, real fast. And it's the same way with us. The quicker we submit to the Lord, the quicker we can go on and do what He's called us to do. God called you and I to be in His army. And if I can relate to you as a horse, hopefully that's not offensive, but it's the best way I know to give you an illustration. You know, she's created, and that saddle was created to go on her. Next year she'll be 3 years old. She'll be ready to ride. You could get on her now. I just don't. I'm too old. I make a good living shoeing horses. I wouldn't want something to happen, but she sure is quiet. My point is, though, we've shown her a lot of things, and it's the same way with us. The Lord, He wants us to grow and grow quickly. Nowadays, with the Bible accessible and all kinds of ways, man, we can grow. We can go to church, we can study the Word, and we can grow pretty fast. Just like Sally's learned a lot of things in a short amount of time. It's the same with us. So my question to you and I is, let's make sure we're facing up in the round pen and stepping out there where the Lord is and letting Him put that halter on us and letting. The sooner we submit to Him, the easier our life gets. Just like Miss Sally here. The sooner she submitted, man, life's gotten easier every day as she submitted to the plan and she realized what I was trying to do. And now she just takes a saddle like she's 10 years old. You can just throw that saddle on her, and I'm proud of her. And so my challenge to you and myself is this: are we adapting when the Lord takes us and puts us in situations that aren't always comfortable? Sometimes we learn the most when we're out of our comfort zone. Just like Sally, I promise you, she would have loved to just stayed out in Mr. Jimmy's front yard and let Pastor Chet mind his own business. But we've worked with her. We're not horse trainers. We just spend a little time with her. I shoe horses. I'm not a horse trainer, but I know a little bit. And during this process, man, she's done so well, because she's been willing to submit and learn new things. Now, during this process, I'm sure if she could talk, she'd say, "Ooh, this was a challenging experience at times." But she passed every test, and when she would pass that test, we would go on to the next thing. Now she's taken a saddle like she's been doing it for years and loading in a trailer. So we're going to bring her to church Sunday and see how she does in front of a crowd and see how she does when a horn blows. Amen. But hey, we love you guys. My challenge to you today is, and myself, all of us, is that we be like Sally and be willing to learn. Sally hasn't been perfect. She's just a young horse, just like you're not going to be perfect. God knows you're not going to be perfect, but He wants to know, are we willing to learn, and are we willing to be kind of pushed and shoved out of our comfort zone in order to do great things for God? So, hey, guys, we love y'all. Best church in the world. Miss Sally's been a great conversation for several sermons, and nothing fancy about it, but it's very similar to our life and our walk with the Lord. And the sooner we submit to Him and obey Him, do what He wants, just like Sally taking that saddle and all these things, man, her life is going to be so much better, and she's going to be what she was created to be, a great horse. And my prayer for you and I is that we be great soldiers of Christ. and that we take the saddle, we desensitize, that we're not spooked and run off and get scared of everything. But you know what? God is wanting to build a foundation in us. Miss Sally has a decent foundation already, and as she grows, and someone takes her on, and at 3 years old, and if Mr. Jimmy wants to, ride her or pull a wagon, whatever he chooses to do with her, the neat thing is she's gonna have a good foundation, so she'll be ready to go. So, guys, Miss Sally's been a good conversation piece, and hope we learned something today. Her life's changed for the better because she was willing to learn, and I just pray that we're all willing to learn and grow closer to the Lord, and sign up for work and say, Lord, here I am, use me. And during that process of Him using us, things aren't always comfortable, they're not always easy, but it's always good because God is faithful and He loves His children. So guys, we love y'all, and we will probably see you on here again tomorrow or Saturday, and looking forward to Sunday morning. We're excited about church. Love you guys. Sally, she's looking good in the sun.